All right, we are approaching the close of tonight's debate, and in this final segment, we want to give all three of you some time to make closing remarks.
Yeah, you'll each have 90 seconds to speak directly to voters here. We're going to begin right now with Constable Edwin Shorty.
My name is Edwin Shorty. I'm number 5 on your ballot. I'm the only person up here who's handled an eviction. I'm the only person up here who understands how the foreclosure process works. I'm the only person up here who's practiced law. Aside from part-time lawyering, I do practice law, and I understand what it means to individual litigants when their paperwork isn't served timely and how that wastes money. I understand how criminal litigants can end up in court and have not been served, and now victims' times are wasted, the judge's time is wasted, and the individual defendant's time is wasted. I understand what the jail life is like. I've worked in the jail. I worked my way through undergrad in the jail, so I get that process. This is about management. This is about the care, feeding, and custody of these individuals every day. This is about bringing real educational programs and workforce development programs. I'm on the board of an HBCU. I understand what educational programs we can bring to bear. That's how you change the trajectory of these individuals' lives. Not just saying I'm gonna give them a GDE, but I'm gonna give them some kind of skills so when they come out, they're marketable and you can help them get a job. But we're not going to release anyone, and we're not going to get buy-in from our community till they feel that the jail is safe. Until they know no one else is running out the front door of the jail. They're not going to be victimized by these individuals again. And that's how you get the community to rally around and make sure when you successfully complete programs that these individuals can get hired.
Thank you, sir. Sheriff Hudson.
Yeah. Again, my opponent, part-time lawyer, part-time constable, but can't tell the full truth up out here. This particular constable also has been disciplined by the bar because he did not take care of his clients and he did not follow the law. And he's not telling the truth. I also practiced law as well before I ran for sheriff. He was part of a car wreck scheme, and he was doing that for a year before he found out his clients had a car wreck scheme, and he was the lawyer on the case. They went to federal prison. I met 2 of his clients this weekend who talked about how he had messed up a bankruptcy and had hurt a 78-year-old woman, and she lost her house as a result of his lawyering. We do 20 times the work of the constable. I have way more employees. We serve 32,000 papers per year, 1,000 TROs. We do much more work than him. It is not even close. Michelle Woodfork. We talked about her disciplinary history, domestic violence, lying, insubordination. But also when she was in office, the consent decree monitor said that the New Orleans Police Department was backsliding. And so their numbers, the way they were coding calls was incorrect. And they were downplaying calls on her watch. Also, the satisfaction in the NOPD went down while it was also under her watch. So they're talking as if they were the most successful people in the world. That's not true. But what I've done is take on the hardest job in the city. We've been successful at getting people to better places. And yes, there are going to be issues in a jail.
Constable Shorty, I will give you a chance to reply, but we're going to go to Ms. Woodfork, and you'll have a chance to reply as well to those comments, ma'am.
Again, my name is Michelle Woodfork. I am a 35-year law enforcement professional, and I have worked inside the sheriff's. I've actually worked inside the sheriff's office, not like my opponent, Ms. Hudson. I have been a law enforcement professional for over 35 years, and I'm proving, when given the opportunity and the chance, in 10 months, I did what some chiefs have not done in 4 years. I ran an agency of over 1,250 people with a budget of $166 million and was successful at it. We were fiscally sound. We got the things that we needed because we collaborated and created partnerships with the council. We didn't argue with them. We didn't tell them, you gotta pay. You gotta give us the money. And although it is the law, it's the way that you do it. You compromise, you create working relationships, not arguments with the council. That's how you get things done. You go to them with a detailed budget, not the things that you're not being transparent about, to get the things that you need. You know, I know that what happens in jail absolutely impacts what goes on in our communities, in our families, and it affects our quality of life. The people have lost trust and confidence in the sheriff's office, and they need a proven leader with integrity to run the sheriff's office, one who is experienced, has the knowledge and common sense to bring safety to all of New Orleans. And that is me, Michelle Woodfork, number 6 on the ballot.
Thank you, ma'am. Constable Shorty.
Again, leadership is about taking responsibility, and the sheriff ducks responsibility. I've made mistakes, but I own my mistakes. I don't blame a jailbreak on my opponents. I don't blame the city council for every deficiency in the jail. She may have talked to former clients. I've talked to deputies, current deputies, who feel that they're not protected, who feel like the violence is rampant, who feel like their sheriff doesn't have their back. You elect me, and I'll have these deputies back every day and make sure that they're protected and that the inmates don't run to jail.
And Sheriff Hudson, a chance for you to respond.
Yeah, both of my opponents worked at a time 30 years ago in this jail when it was record numbers of deaths, escapes, people going out the door anytime. They do not understand this current jail. They've never been in it. They don't know anything about it. And they don't understand this consent judgment, which I do. And we are now within 5 paragraphs of getting this entire thing into compliance. That's real leadership. Yes, I am accountable for what went on, but no, I didn't let these people out the door. I'm going to hold those people accountable, and I'm going to tell that whole story. And Michelle Woodfork doesn't speak for the people of the city.
We are running out of time, but I think that that's a pretty strong allegation. So if you want anything to say to the claim that you don't speak to the people of the city.
I do speak for
excuse
the city, the people of the city, because unlike our sheriff is touting to be the people's sheriff, I was the people's chief. I was in the community. I engaged in our community. I made a change in the department. Of course, she's going to come with the attacks, as my opponents do, who are 30 points behind in the polls. This is what they do. They come with all the attacks. They don't want to talk about the issues. They want to talk about personal things. They want to do personal attacks. But the truth is the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we do thank you all for your responses. Now, though, we want to take a look at some important dates as we do approach the election. The last day you can register to vote by mail or in person at either your registrar or voter's office or the Office of Motor Vehicles is September 10th. You can register to vote online until September 20th. The early voting period runs from September 27th to October 4th, every day but Sunday.
Now, most voters can request an absentee ballot up until October 7th. Members of the military and voters overseas can request absentee ballots until October 10th. That is the last day any absentee ballot can be returned, and the deadline is 4:30 p.m. Again, that is Friday, October 10th.
Now, the big date, Election Day, Saturday, October 11th. Polls are open from 7 in the morning until 8 at night. This is important. If you are in line at 8 o'clock, you will be allowed to vote. They must allow you to do that. We will be bringing you the first returns on election night as soon as the polls close at 8.
Now, our mayoral debate is coming up in 2 weeks. That is September 16th. We'll start once again with a pre-show highlighting the top candidates for mayor of New Orleans. That begins at 6:30. Our debate begins at 7 and wraps up at 8 on Channel 4. But the questions will continue on WWL Plus. You can just download the app for your TV and watch for free.
We would like to thank the candidates for joining us for tonight's debate. And we would also like to send a special thanks to the New Orleans Police and Justice Foundation for their help here with the research.
Certainly. And most importantly, thank you to the audience, the voters of New Orleans. Thank you for watching and have a great night.